Hi, my name is Nikki, and some of you may know me as Van Cleef, or I got married in September to Mickey Boaglio. I'm a member of the Exodus campus in Longview, and I also graduated from Castle Rock, so some of you on the Tootle campus might know me from there. But today I wanted to share with you what's been on my heart, what God's placed on my heart through this whole season that we've been in. I began 2020 attempting to read my Bible all the way through, from Genesis to Revelation, and I got to tell you, in about March, and then April, and then May, I got behind. I don't know how many of you have used the Bible app, but it likes to tell you how many days you're behind. And pretty soon, I was about 100 days behind. We had some pretty significant family trauma we were dealing with in the midst of everything else, like right all at the same time. So we had a lot going on, and I got away from reading as much as I wanted to. And being in the Word as much as I wanted to. And I kind of let these things that were bothering me just overcome everything. And I started feeling these things coming to the surface that I thought were long gone. I thought I had dealt with, I thought had been removed, way past that, in a great place, could handle anything, and then all of this stuff hit. And in my observance, this time has brought up a lot for a lot of people. Just a lot of things that came to the surface. I saw a lot of it on Facebook. I heard it from people telling their own stories. Just a lot of stuff. That some of us didn't know were there, like I said, thought were long gone, or we just thought we were in a better place at the time to be able to handle it, and then we're disappointed in ourselves at how things went and how they played out instead. I am glad that before March hit that I had spent time in the Word, that I was able to be reminded of all of those stories in the Old Testament where things looked catastrophically awful, but that God was working for His good, for the good of everyone, and whether they knew it or not. And, well, they didn't know. They never really knew. But I am just thankful that I had been in the Word, because that was very helpful. But like I said, God just working for the greater good, even when we don't see it at all. Even when things are so messed up around us, even when the messes are doing, and it's not the first, second, third, fourth, 500th time, He can turn it into good. And He knows what's going on. He isn't surprised. And maybe the things that came to the surface needed to be dealt with to put us further toward where He wants us to be. Maybe it isn't even about us. One thing I do know is that a lot of people use this time to declutter, to do yard work, trim bushes, clean out the unwanted, trimming branches, and I believe personal pruning as well. And in John 15:1 and 2, Jesus said, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, He prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful." So when I thought of this at first, when I first heard this verse long ago, I thought of pruning as, just cutting off completely. But in fact, if you have experience with tree trimming and whatnot, you actually prune the good. So something that's doing good, you cut it off, and then it grows even better and flourishes and thrives, and things get better. So I would just encourage you to trust God with his hand in your life like a skilled surgeon. That we don't need to squirm or hold tightly to the things that we don't understand. It just keeps us in pain longer. And the pruning sometimes can feel like I said, where, I thought I was in a better place to handle this or something like that. And you don't see that, no, it was good. And God's about to make it better. As I talked about doing yard work, I gave an example to the kids when one came in with a sliver in her hand. Using a literal and figurative example, when you have a sliver and it's buried down deep, it's going to hurt to get it out. But that pain is temporary. That's only going to last for a moment. And then things will be better. But if you leave it there and you allow it to fester and get infected, you're going to have a lot more problems. It's not going to feel good. In the long run, things will be worse. So it might not feel good and might be difficult. In fact, I think it always is. I am usually my biggest obstacle. But I encourage you, along with me, to do some personal pruning this week. Maybe make it a personal habit to check in regularly and ask God, what do you want to prune in my life right now? What did you start, but then I grew, and you would like to trim back and flourish? As we know, doing things in our own strength do not go well a lot of the times. And John 15 goes on to say in verse 5, I am the vine, you are the branches. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. But apart from me, you can do nothing. So when we start growing those seeds and those branches on our own, a lot of times it's going to need trimmed back. And I just encourage you not to hold on and not to stand in your own way, and to ask God, what would you like to prune in me? And then just hand him the shears. I don't remember if I said I was on the prayer team, or am on the prayer team, I guess, at Exodus and Longview. So if any of this has brought up anything that you want prayer about, or just to talk about or anything, feel free to message me, and I would love to pray with you. So happy pruning, and God bless.